Okay, we'll keep this one kind of short. Yeah, it's a Horsehead Nebula. That's something different to explore. I don't think I even heard of that. I might have. I don't remember. Feels like I've heard of it before, but maybe not in a long time. So, tapping into those energies. Of course, Halloween frequency, which isn't exactly the best frequency at this time. I'm not a huge Halloween fan. It's just it's just that what's the nonsense that's happening behind the scenes, spells and things like that. I don't exactly have the best interests of others, and many in the spiritual community are in a timeline of delusions. You have that, then you have your narcissists that are having a blast here, which is like it's like living inside of a cartoon. It's like living inside of a comedy when it gets down to it. Of course, many that are spiritually developed don't even have a sense of humor, so it's even funnier in that regard. It's like way too serious. So, the Horsehead energies that are the nebula frequency, it just got me thinking about something. It's like I was thinking anyway. The horse head, there's good horses and there's bad horses. So yes, at least I tapped into a realm where horses are kind of gatekeepers. I did not see that coming either. Some of them are bad horses basically. Which you never really think about like a bad horse or anything like a black stallion type of energy. That's a lot. I mean, horses have a lot of spiritual energies. Obviously, there's good ones, and there's others that are up to no good. So, I picked up on like a ritual frequency. I wasn't looking for it, and luckily, I didn't get energy attack from it, or maybe I have. It just wasn't on the same day. So horse head. I don't know. It's just good to look at horses on different levels. Let's put it that way. The good guys, the bad guys. I believe that will reveal itself over time. Let's put it that way. In some form or another, if you need to know it. Let's put it that way. We don't remember anything from not everything from our astral experiences, but horses are part of rituals. I mean, I guess there's that meme of if you're rich, you have a horse. 4 cats are for 4 people. So I guess that's a little bit of an elitist energy there, something like that. Just there's with horses, especially those that own them. There is a bit of a status energy there. Not to say this horse energy is bad, but there's some, I don't know, it's like prestigious things. But they did, horse frequency did get us to where we are today. I mean, that was the vehicle of the times, so just not as prominent as it used to be. And also the Halloween rituals that are going on. I was going to go into more details of that, but I'm kind of trying to keep it vague at this point. Just because the moon energy has been pretty intense recently, so that's been exhausting. I imagine it's been exhausting for some people, at least, that are feeling it. So no matter how many protections you put up, it's still you can still kick your ass, basically. So, all right. So connect to the spiritual connections of the horse frequencies. Of course, in Orion, you look up Horsehead Nebula, you'll see a horse there, which is freaking nuts. It's like, jeez. It's not like the Crab Nebula. Of course, I don't think you'd actually see a crab, but maybe you do. But when I started doing this, I get like visions of crab people, like their arms or like claws, like you would see in a kid's cartoon, basically. And you just kind of have to go with it when you see stuff like that. So you have this warrior, like even the shark, that's a warrior. A crab is a warrior. Praying mantis is a warrior in its own way. Was some of them are, especially when they kill their relationships off. Jeez, it's like Wonder how many of them don't do that after they have kids. Maybe it's for the best. As I'm talking about my private sessions. We have the scheduler. We have the shop here. And we'll just keep it simple there. So, all right, we'll just do keep it kind of short this time, but we're going to the horse's energies, the horse's head energies. And anything that for the Arcturian energies for the Halloween stuff. But we'll, of course, also the horse is connected to the Arcturians because they have like a horse type head. And there's definitely an Arcturian. I mean, you can say many different species are connected to it. Horses are their own species altogether, also. So, however, you need to connect with that, whatever works. So, all right. Our blessings, here we go. Greens, we have the horse consciousness. Yes, many of you are connected to our energies, have been part of our realities where, yes, we are, yes, a spiritual energy. Of course, most animals are to a certain level. Even the reptilian is quite spiritual, depending on the reptilian being. But a horse being, it's like we stand out, as you can see. It's hard to hide a horse. Reptilians can hide, but horses are usually like out in the open. It's like, hopefully this goes well. Of course, there's humanoid horse beings, of course, but the animal horse is kind of a sitting duck to some level. I mean, usually they're well taken care of, but they are part of the human consciousness, as you can see throughout history. We felt like throughout history, we felt like we were humans. We are fighting the human battle also, but that shows that what we're going through also. The horse consciousness is brought here for a reason. So we in our realities we're going through similar situations, let's put it that way. If that wasn't the case, you'd have you'd be riding chickens or something like that, or some other donkeys or whatever it is. You'll find something to work. But for the horse to be part of your history, so ingrained into it, you can say it shows that we're not much. Well, we're different, but we're not that off. And there's good horses and bad horses, because you see both the enemy and the positive and the negative here. So, and the negative can be easily possessed and control societies and all that. And and they can, and they do connect to the or dimensional armies. It's just not a topic many think about. Of course, the horse energy also connects to the Pegasus and the unicorn energies to cut through low frequencies. Of course, is the opposite of those also. You can say horses are seen like your modern dragon, you can say, and not, in some, at least in energy and power. So the horse is not much different. It's here in your physical realm. And just the potential of the horse is not always recognized here. Well, usually horses stay quiet. They just do their thing. And sometimes they don't want to get into their world. Yes, they are very competitive. You see them in horse races. They enjoy that more than anything. They really do love that thrill. So if you feel like and usually they're taken care of quite well. And of course, horses, like humans, they overextend themselves. They do things they shouldn't be doing. They get over their head a lot too. So I don't feel like they're being tortured. I mean, some do go through. They go. I mean, everything here has a stress level somewhere. Of course, the dogs are similar. Of course, humans would actually be riding dogs, which would be quite fascinating. And also, or they'd be riding the big cats if we weren't around. So, and those worlds do exist. But our consciousness is glad to be part of your world, and eventually you'll start to see, the horseman. You're somewhat aware of the elephant man, but the horseman or horsewoman, or however you want to word it. It's both horse societies. Yes, there are horses that are going through midlife crisis. You might see animated cartoons of them. Yeah, there's that. So it shows we're not that much different. Well, we brought in a lot of the human elements for our world. Of course, we already had our version of it already. So it's not like humans are going through a great deal and we just got pulled into this. Far from it. It's like I said, our worlds aren't always that different than yours. I can say also like the ducks. Ducks can go through a lot of chaos in their world. So of course there's more to it than that, but kind of gives you it's just a yin and a yang to everything. But every species here, animal, is glad to be here in some form. Yes, others are tired of it just as you are, just because how animals are being treated here or mistreated. And they're similar to also the plant life, the trees, where they wish to be more understood. Of course, when a horse starts to talk about themselves, it might go on forever. It's like, yeah, you'll need like a few days to process all of it. So, but yeah, it's a challenging world, which we're thankful for because we bring all this. Because sometimes a lot of these alien beings, the animals here, feel like they're alone, like, but in truth, we're not, as you can see. Greece uses the moon frequencies gets connected also to the Halloween energies. Yes, Halloween does bring out a dark side among others. It does bring out playful side also. But the dark side, it's like the dark side is a playful energy. It's just, yes, it does bring out a lot of fun among many, which is really good. It's like, yes, they call it costumes. You're wearing your costume, but actually you're showing a part of yourself, a fractal of yourself that you're willing to show. What is it you're not willing to show? That would probably be more the more entertaining. Some would actually go naked if they could, which that can be attractive, hopefully for some, but either way, not to judge. You'd be surprised how many. Yeah, the nakedness is. Well, that means you have nothing to hide. It's like, which is good, but obviously society is not ready for that. I imagine there are parties like that somewhere, but yeah, you have to be careful of the nakedness. Run into something that can be very painful. So, but yeah, the idea, even for kids. So kids is interesting because they can show a side of themselves. Also, they like to make their parents laugh too. Love just to bring out more of the inner child of like the child will dress up in a goofy costume just to help the parent chill, and find some happiness there. Because a lot of parents aren't that happy. So seeing a kid, do the kid stuff, it does do a lot of healing within the parent frequencies more than you might realize. And wearing a goofy costume works out great because the children are counselors. I mean, yes, they're warning too, but they're bringing energies from the higher dimensions or the lower dimensions, whatever it might be. Either way, they're bringing it from somewhere. Normal. Well, it's even on both sides. But as you can see, the awakening frequency can come through children frequencies, but also the adults for sure. It's just the adults have shut up became adults. And that's the scariest thing about being a kid is becoming an adult, is because you forget everything. And that's going to be, I wouldn't call it a plague, but a challenge. I mean, it might feel like it is a plague because forgetting the higher realms is like, but many shut it off because they, yes, want to figure out this human experience, want to perfect it also. So many in the higher dimensions want nothing to do, usually, depending on who they are, want nothing to do with the physical realms. But to be a human here, I mean, this is one of the few worlds where you can. Well, there's a lot of them, but it's still a few, even if it is millions of worlds where you can shut off the higher dimensions and explore where this world, for example, the physical realms. Yes, there might be some spiritual connection. Why so many are scared of death? Because they're here to explore the physical realm. They don't want to die yet. They just want to, try to get what they can out of their lives, whatever it might be. And yes, and eventually, yes, reincarnate again if they don't feel like they've finished. Now, obviously, those who are in the spiritual level are kind of dismiss this realm and yes, cause being a human as icky. That's one word that comes through sometimes. There's probably other words that are more colorful, but well, they obviously a lot of spiritual beings feel that their souls feel like they're locked down. This is an anchor. Yes, they're being punished. Those that feel like they're being punished, there's different ways of looking at it. Those are going through a lot of challenges, understood. And sometimes you punish yourself. Well, it's like get it over with. Let's do it here. Or, it is like, yes, it can be a mental prison. But that's, a lot of bravery goes into that also. But eventually there will be a time of peace. And they're getting there. Sometimes it's good to battle oneself too. I mean, they're really going through one's darkness. It's like you're in a boxing ring with yourself, your fears, everything around you. And you don't necessarily need a social life. You're dealing with everything else, your other lifetimes, whatever it might be. So you don't need distractions. Yes, you wonder why marriage doesn't work, relationship doesn't work, is because you're dealing with your own karma face, your own inner self, inner soul. And that's not a bad thing at all. Because many that are in a relationship energies get so distant from themselves, have no idea who they are, and get more and more. Yes, it might look good on paper, might look nice. But as many of you know, there's a lot of insecurities there. And it's like, wow, you have a long ways to go, don't you? So experiencing oneself is quite the battle. It is a dance, you can say, with yourself. It's it can be violent and mentally, thoughts and emotions, things like that, especially dealing with family energies and that aren't exactly the most welcoming frequency. So it's just but the battle is necessary. It's the inner battle, the inner war. Yes, you might see wars in the Middle East, and you're seeing karma being built there, especially those of power. Those that are going through it, that are dying, they're in this situation. A lot of them will find luck in their next life. They die on an unnecessary death. Most likely they'll incarnate here or somewhere else and have like crazy luck. Like you don't know where this luck came from. Of course, it can also get to their head, but that's on them. But either way, that's so it's a life process. But those that are starting these wars and just doing the ego energies, of course, you can't speak for everything, but what's happening in the Middle East is a lot of selfishness, as you can see, and not about the world. Not to pick sides or anything like that. But there's either way, just focus on your own frequency, and you'd be surprised how many are going through that type of war within themselves. Like there's an extreme side and there's a soft side, and going through an inner battle. So it might make that Middle East battle look like it's a walk in the park. That's some of you know. So sending positive frequencies. Yes, have fun for sure. Or just have a calm night. So blessings.